Hello there guys and welcome back to 100% Chelsea for the last preview of this Premier League season. Isn't it mental? It's been such a long season and then again it feels like it just flew past. We're already champions. And as I said, last preview of the season against Sunderland, Chelsea against Sunderland on Sunday with the kickoff being at 3 PM at Stamford Bridge. I'm gonna be there and I'm gonna fucking love it. I'm gonna fucking love it. Obviously getting into the game, getting into our opposition, Sunderland, it's not too much great stuff to say about them. They're in last. They've been relegated for a few games now. They're actually 14 points of safety. I mean, great season you're having. Moise. Their overall season has been 6 wins, 6 draws, and 25 losses. We're on 29 wins. How shit are they, for fuck's sake? It's terrible. Like, looking into their last 5 fixtures, they've lost 1-0 to Middlesbrough, they lost 1-0 to Bournemouth, they actually beat Hull 2-0, pretty much the game after Sunderland were officially relegated and Hull was still fighting relegation, which obviously, was a damper in Hull's hope for survival. Then they lost 2-0 to Swansea, and now last weekend they lost, or midweek was it? They lost 2-0 to Arsenal. And in that very game, midweek against Arsenal, Jordan Pickford, their goalkeeper, I don't exactly know how old he is, I think 19 or something. Incredible performance. I think he had up to something like 19 saves all game long. Incredible performance. Usually people would say Defoe is probably their best player, but if you look at Jordan Pickford's performances, although they've been relegated and they've conceded loads and loads of goals, he's been solid. He's been really, really good. And it would be very surprising for me if he doesn't move to next season's Premier League club. But yeah, obviously, I had to mention Defoe. He's on 15 goals again this season. Like, incredible telly. Considering at what team he plays, he's just good. Like, me personally, I take him as backup striker. It's not a Chelsea weekly, I know, but like, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it. But now there's something else that I have to mention. A lot of you would have heard about Lowery, I think it's Lowery, 6-year-old Sunderland fan, who obviously we've seen loads of stuff about on social media. When we played Sunderland in Sunderland, he was there as well. Defoe carried him out to the pitch along with the whole team. He had a bit of banter with the whole Chelsea squad. He scored a penalty against Begovic, and it was just good fun. And Chelsea actually invited him to come to the game, and there was talks that he might actually be able to present Chelsea with the Premier League trophy. But sadly, Bradley and his family had to cancel because Bradley just wasn't feeling well enough or isn't doing well enough. He's been having to deal with his disease for a long time, and it's not going great at the moment. So all my strength goes out to him and his family, because it's just lovely when you see the football community come together. I think around Christmas he received something like 250,000 Christmas cards because they put out on social media that he loves Christmas cards. I mean, it's just crazy, and like how the football world can unite, and how no one cared. Like, before the game, Chelsea-Sunderland at Sunderland, no one really cared about the game. It was all about Bradley, and it's just absolute quality, and especially Jermaine Defoe. He's been absolute quality to him, visiting him regularly at hospital or at home, and like, he's been at plenty of games. It's just been really cool. So I had to mention that. As I said, all our strength goes out to Bradley and his family. Being a bit more upbeat again, coming to Antonio Conte's press conference, which took place a little bit earlier on. And first thing he was asked about was whether John Terry would start the game on Sunday or not. Because obviously, if he doesn't, it's most likely that Watford game would have been his last ever start for Chelsea. Because let's be honest now, he's most likely not going to start against Arsenal in the FA Cup final. And Antonio Conte just wouldn't really give an answer, naturally. Like, he just wouldn't really say if he's going to start or not. But he did say he can, question was continued. Do you think he can continue playing, or do you think, is he still good enough and stuff? He said, yeah, he's easily good enough. He can easily continue playing if that's what he decides to do. Because as I talked about in this week's Chelsea Weekly, he said after Watford that he hasn't decided yet whether he will retire or whether he will continue playing, and where that may be if he does decide to continue playing. Then Antonio Conte went on to say we've got 2 major targets for the game on Sunday, which are winning that 30th game of the season, which has never been done before. No Premier League side has ever won 30 games in one Premier League season out of 38. So that would obviously be one hell of an achievement. And the second target really is to get Thibaut Courtois the Golden Glove. Thibaut Courtois currently, I think, is one clean sheet ahead of Hugo Lloris. So I'm not 100% sure how it works if they end up with the same amount of clean sheets. Is it then who played less gets the actual Golden Glove, or do both get a Golden Glove? I'm not sure. But if the goalie who played less and has the same amount of clean sheets gets it, then it's Lloris because he was injured for a little while. So we better keep a clean sheet. Obviously, you know, Conte saying that obviously means Courtois is going to start the game and not Asmir Begovic. So, you know, those are, in Antonio Conte's words, our two main targets for Sunday's game. And he was asked about his contract. He was asked, is he already in talks with the club about new contract? He said, first of all, we have to underline that I still have 2 years contract left, which he's completely right about. But he also did go on to say, after the last game against Sunderland and after the final, then players and also himself, the manager, do have time to discuss these things, to talk about things like contract. But before that, what we want to do is focus and concentrate on the targets, on the challenges lying ahead. And he's completely right in that. But it also does sound like he's willing to sign a new contract, which I'm very happy about. Because, you know, he deserves a pay rise, that's for sure. And I want him to stay for as long as possible. Because I like the guy. I just like the guy, really. Then he was asked about, will next season be more difficult than this season to just win the Premier League? Because I can't remember when it was that a team actually retained the title. I can't remember when it was, but it hasn't happened for a while. So it's going to be very difficult for us. But Antonio Conte said it's always very difficult to win this league either way, no matter if we are champion or not. And he's completely right in saying that. He also said, yes, we did win the league, but we have to stay realistic. And we know that we still have to improve. We have to improve a lot if we want to retain the title. And we also need a bigger squad because, you know, as everyone knows, we're going to be in the Champions League again next season. Which means we do need a bigger squad because currently our squad just isn't strong enough in depth to actually deal with Champions League football. He also said all players are fit and available, which is obviously good news. I mean, would have surprised me if that wasn't the case, but you know, it's obviously great. Let's hope that stays the same until the final against Arsenal as well. And then the last thing he was asked about was Gary Cahill. Obviously Gary Cahill was the one who stepped in for John Terry as the new captain, as sort of the vice captain. And Conte said, yeah, he's got a good prospect to be the captain next season because that's what he was asked about. Will he be captain next season? But first, we want to finish the season. You know, we keep saying that we want to finish the season. We want to focus on this season, and then we can think and talk about all these kind of things. You know, I'm pretty convinced if Gary Cahill is a starter next season, he will be the captain. It's only like if he's dropped to the bench, then we'll have to look for a new captain because why would you change it? Why would you take it away from him? Like we won the league under him right now, but like kind of under him. Still under JT, but like. He was the captain on the pitch, and you know, we won the league. So can't really complain with him being captain. So unless he does get dropped to the bench for, I don't know, Christensen, Aki, Zuma, whoever, or you know, if we sign someone, I'm pretty convinced that Gary Cahill will be captain going into next season. And coming to Chelsea, coming to obviously our lineup, how I think we're going to approach the game, and my predicted you know, scoreline. I really do want John Terry to start this game. First of all, because I want to see him play. Because, you know, I'm off to London tomorrow, and I really want to see him play again. But I can't see it happening. I really can't, because I think Antonio Conte will... First of all, he really wants that 30th win. He really wants the clean sheet for Courtois. And he already gave sort of the second string team a run out Monday against Watford. So I highly doubt it. Again, like I said, I really want him to start, but I just can't see it happening. I really do expect the strongest team, if I'm completely honest, because you know, like you said in the press conference, we want that clean sheet for Courtois, so that means Courtois is playing, which is already indicating that we are playing the strongest team, and that's what I'm expecting. And also, I feel like you can't give the most of the first team 2 weeks rest after the West Brom game, because you know, you need to be match fit, you need to have that sharpness, you can't lose your focus out of the final. So I think it's actually they should play tomorrow. And I have to talk about someone individually. About Cesar Azpilicueta, because his season has just been outstanding. He's very much underrated. Possibly one of the world's most underrated players, because he's actually played every single second of this season. If he does do the same thing against Sunderland, you know, he will have played every second of the Premier League season of this 2016-17 season. Just like John Terry did last time round when we won the league, which was just as much of an incredible achievement. Also, Spilicueta is the only player in the whole of the Premier League to make more than 2,000 passes. I'm not sure if that's completed passes or attempted passes. I don't know about that. But still, more than 2,000 passes. And I think he's also the only defender to make more than 1,000 passes in the opposition's half. Which is just some incredible statistics. And, it's just been outstanding. But yeah, talking about the game, if our strongest team start the game, I'm convinced that we're going to get the win. I'm convinced that we're even going to get a rather big win. Because, it's the last day. We're going to receive the trophy. Everyone's going to be up for it. The stadium's going to be up for it. The players are going to be up for it. And Sunderland aren't really up for it, I suppose. Because, they're going to have to give us the guard of honour and all this kind of stuff. Although Watford did that as well. And, that was a close game. It shouldn't have been. A very big difference between playing that team that played against Watford and playing our strongest team, which I do think we will play on Sunday. But yeah, so my prediction, like I said, if we do play our strongest 11, is 4-0. Yeah, I'm going to go that big. Yeah, I hope it is like that as well, because obviously I'm going to be there. So the more goals by Chelsea, the merrier, I suppose. But yeah, that's really it from me. That was the last preview of this season. Obviously, of this Premier League season. We still have the game against Arsenal to go. But yeah, that's all I've got to say, really. Leave me all of your thoughts down in the comment section below. Leave me your... Who do you think is going to start the game? Do you think John Terry will start? Not do you want him to start, but let me know if you think he actually will start. Rest of the team as well, do you think we will go with our strongest 11, or do you think we will rotate again like we did against Watford? And leave me all of your match predictions down in the comment section down below as well. And yeah, leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. We massively do appreciate that. Thanks for watching. Up the Chelsea. Off to London tomorrow. Can't wait. And I'll see you next time.